the work-related driving, another topic. And sometimes I say driving is not on the road, even off the road, not inside your facility, even outside your facility. Let me share one of the incident here, just little more energy I need from your side so we can have a better productive discussion. At one of the project in Jubail, the big facility was being established for USA military, kind of military bases and several residential compounds for USA military was going on. And I noticed one of the project manager, and always I noticed, he was under stress because it was just a startup of the project and several areas he has to manage. And in the meantime, he planned some OSHA trainings, and I was regularly visiting from Khubar to Jubail every day, like going for trainings and coming back. So one day I asked that gentleman, you always look so stressed. I mean, you have a good team and everywhere the good supporters are there. Why you always look so stressed? And this is terrible, you truly have to give care to yourself. And then the terrible part he mentioned after that job, like 8 to 5 or maybe sometime more hours is sitting, then he has to rush towards your home, like he was living probably nearby somewhere in Daman, but still 45 or 1 hour drive is there. And with that stress mind, every day he was driving. And during the training, I requested him, whenever you feel terrible stresses, don't drive. Because it's a killing point. You are increasing probability, and it's not like always from your side. Even the other drivers, the behavior of other drivers, might be you are the best driver. You have the best vehicle, but no guarantee of others. And you are already under stress. That means the distracted mind. You can't focus on the driving process safely, as a defensive driver. And, now just few months before I got the news, that project manager was faced a fatal accident and he expired. And to be very honest, I motivated him a lot. I requested him, until grave, the work will always be there. Don't ignore your safety. You are important for your family. You are important for yourself. So I'm truly worrying about you, because how come you can drive in such a stressful environment? Otherwise, bring your family in Jubail. Why you are a long way traveling? Because you can reduce the risk. I mean, rather than traveling back to Dammam, you bring your family to Jubail and ship them there and have just 20 minutes drive, and still, less chances of any sort of fatal accident. But unfortunately, sometimes things are not possible and it can't go in our favor. He was facing obesity also. And if you are fatty enough and because of over cholesterol and several issues, you face fatigue. And fatigue means because of maybe your physical strength, and on the other side, sleeping disorder, because you are too much busy on the side as a project manager. And then you are driving also. And unfortunately, that gentleman expired and the whole project stuck. And even, until today, our payment is also stuck there because of that incident. We delivered like 5 or 6 OSHA sessions to their employees, all their safety engineers, even several staff, But unfortunately, forget about our money, but one life, no reversal at all. And the terrible part is, I requested him several times, don't ignore, driving is a terrible process, my friends. How come you are under stress, you are in angry mood, you are facing a lot of pressure, workload, and now you are driving also. So why are you increasing the probability and going to face that fatal accident? Why are you overconfident? No harm, I can smoke, I can drink, I can, still drive. How come something could happen? But here the topic is mostly the work-related driving. And we have several drivers, are involved. Every company have. And several accidents occur in the public roads while driving on business. No specific health and safety legislation manage like another risk. Like in Saudi Arabia, if we all can evaluate during the school time or during the office time, more accidents are happening. While we are coming back from office to our home, more accident probability has gone up because everybody is, and it's a human nature to do things as quick as possible. And we all rushing towards our family and to our home, just to reach as quick as possible. But every second, every moment, it's hard to be lucky because we are violating safety regulations. We have camera, we are 120, we cross the camera, the next camera required 3-5 kilometers, and we rush maybe up to 180 kilometers sometimes. I noted personally. And the more speed mean, more terrible probability of accident, God forbid. And we are killing. Maybe, several accidents happened. Someone was doctor, the highly tech engineer, maybe the scientist. So it's directly affecting the economy. That is why Saudi government, they are putting a lot of fine, a lot of more cameras, because it's not like they are making money. No, no, no. They are just giving care to us. They don't want to lose uh, the talent on the road actually, especially the young Saudis. They don't want to see any damage. And maybe a one Saudi who just, God forbid, expired on the road was the future scientist, maybe the best doctor. Maybe you lost someone, is going to be the best leader in Saudi Arabia. But he, because of not managing their emotions actually, or not being emotionally intelligent, he lost his life on the road without giving any benefit to the country. But of course, the loss is a lot. But still, they are controlling, and luckily, while they implemented 3,000 real, especially at the red signals, traffic signals, drastically the accident ratio gone down. So what is the best strategy managing work-related road safety? We can apply ISO 39001. We can benchmark road traffic safety management system based on PDCA. I told you, if you remember, in the first element, every management system required this tool, PDCA, plan to check it. Any management system standard you want to implement or establishing the system by benchmarking those management standards, make sure you remember and apply the tool we call PDCA, plan to check it. It was explained in element 3 also. What factors would you need to consider when carry out a risk assessment for a specific work-related driving task? So of course, we have to follow, the hierarchy of risk assessment, not hierarchy of control, the hierarchy, the steps, the logical sequence steps of risk assessment, like identify the hazards, identify who might be harmed, evaluate the risk, record the findings and review. And this is what you are going to apply in your risk assessment project IG2 as well. Like identify the hazards mean journey distance, driving hours, work schedule, stress and weather condition. These are the hazards. Identify who might be harmed. Of course, the driver, the nearby, the person, evaluate the risk, eliminate the need to travel if it's possible. And because of this COVID-19, a lot of travel became down because of digitalization. And that is why, more like our online meetings, our several travels we brought down. That means we eliminated the traveling process wherever possible. And even today, companies now created a straightforward policy on it that you will travel if it is damn necessary. Otherwise, no need. If road travel, take sensible precautions and record the findings and make sure you review them also. Next is evaluate the risk. You can review and evaluate about the driver, the vehicle, and the journey itself, DVJ. The driver is all depends on the competency, training, and fitness and health. It's quite straightforward. Competency means make sure is licensed properly and experienced and have ability to drive. Training, adequate defensive driving courses are well joined and he passed, and also have ID to show that the defensive driving training was attended. Vehicle safety and pre-use inspection, and fitness and health means medical examination, eyesight, or drug policy as well. Vehicle, we need suitability and condition. Vehicle must be suitable and condition must be well maintained, and pre-use inspection and defect reporting also. And suitability is all about standardization, and also the insurance and the valid regulatory certificate is there for the private vehicle use. So this is all about the vehicle, driver, and the environment as well. Now, the vehicle, we required safe equipment, safe critical information, ergonomic and mobile phone use should be prohibited actually. So safety equipment means it's all about the safety belt, airbags. This is the most alarming area, the airbags. If we evaluate our Saudi Arabia and we count how many vehicles are there and the airbag is not functioning, you just calculate, maybe you will find more than 70%, Airbags are there, but not functioning. So, of course, in case of God forbid accident, things could be terrible for sure. So emergency triangles, first aid kit, spare tire, fire extinguisher. We required safety critical information, especially the tire pressures. I know these are very generic things, but as this kind of NEBOSH strategy, we have to share these informations. Even though I know a little bit boring kind of, just you are reading word to word, but on the other side, as a safety is a common sense, so we all know these things should be there, but still bear with me, to share some of the vocabulary or kind of information from NEBOSH side. Ergonomic disability of seat position and posture and mobile phone use must be prohibited. The journey you have to plan, avoid hazards, especially the town centers, low risk roads, take motorways or avoid road work, scheduling, avoid peak times, avoid fatigue, especially 2 to 6 a.m. and 2 to 4 p.m. Flexible deadlines you must have rather than rushing. Time, distance, and weather condition. Be realistic, even for the route and the weather and the breaks, rest breaks, and also, especially for lorry drivers, statutory requirements are there. Distance, use other transport, not excessive, and weather condition, reliable weather forecast. No driving additional safety advice in bad weather. So better to avoid driving if you found the news that there would be a terrible weather. So avoid and or change your route. So hazards of electric and hybrid vehicles is kind of a silent operation, unexpected engine startup. High voltage electricity is there. We might charge, retention and batteries and manual handling and magnetic force, for all electric and hybrid vehicles have those hazards. So complicated by remote key operating system, the key does not need to be in the ignition for the vehicle to be operational. So there are several hazards related to electric and hybrid vehicles which need again relative control to be implemented. So that was all about element end, and we have discussed several kind of, we started with the competition, we shared 15 different scenarios or kind of questions, and you participated brilliantly, mashallah. And then later on we discussed the minimum welfare provisions in the workplace, and also the environmental standards for the workplace, and most importantly the temperatures and the relevant control measures. Work at height was another topic we shared, and also we discuss, the distance and consequences of fall, and fall is still the number one cause of fatalities globally. Specifically, we discuss in detail about scaffolding, especially mobile tower scaffold, MEWP, and ladders. And also we discuss safe system of work for the confined space entry, the lone working, and several other topics. We covered with the safe system for the training, supervision, monitoring for the safe system of work, especially related to sleeps and trips for the pedestrian and their control measures, the risk assessment kind of process for the construction of workplace, and also the vehicle operations. We discussed the risk assessment relevant to the vehicle operations, workplace environment, how it should be designed, constructed, and how we can allow safe vehicle movement, and what are the requirements for vehicles and for the drivers, high risk nature of work related driving on the roads. And most importantly, we share what things are important for driver, vehicle, and the journey, especially the safety rules we have to apply for all three segments. and some of the control measures to reduce driving risk and identify the additional hazards associated with electric and hybrid vehicles. So thank you very much. Inshallah,